Hello my friends and welcome to Fishery. Today we're not doing an episode about anything too fishy, except for the fact that I'm coming to a town near you, if you live in certain places. So you guys may know I live in Seattle, up in the Pacific Northwest, but I am coming down to Florida in a week and a half. I leave. I will be down there from September 13th or so, all the way through the 26th or 7th. And then I will be flying to Oregon, and I will be in Oregon for Fishtoberfest, which is the third annual occurrence of that gathering, and it should be a lot of fun in Portland. But I will be speaking in Tampa Bay, in the city of Tampa, which will be really fun. I've spoken in the surrounding areas north of there, 2 fish clubs, and I've spoken south of there in Venice. But I will hopefully, get to meet some new folks and have some new experiences while I'm in Tampa as well. So if you guys are in the area of St. Pete, Tampa, anywhere like Ocala or south, let me know. Or even like Lakeland down to Sarasota. I'm hoping to go down to the Sarasota area and collect the first few days I arrive, stay with someone, a friend, and then also maybe stay in a hotel depending on how far south I go. Then I'm gonna hang out in Spring Hill, which is about an hour north of Tampa, kind of by Newport Richey, or Crystal River, I guess it's just south of there, and may go up north to visit Lucas Brett's and see what else is going on up there. But I've got some dental work to do. And then the next weekend, I'm driving across, and so on the 23rd, I will be on the Atlantic coast talking to the Space Coast Club, which is a relatively new club. And if you are in the Daytona area or Titusville or Cape Canaveral, I'll be coming to talk to you, and it will be a different talk. So if you even want to catch both, if you live in the middle of the state and you feel like driving an hour each way or hour and a half, be my guest. I'd love to see you. So either way, if you can make it out when I come to Florida, I'd love to see you. Then when I make it up to Oregon again, I'll be speaking in the city of Portland, up by the airport where Fishtoberfest is being held. There's going to be tons of vendors, lots of other speakers, an auction, a big auction on Sunday, and that should be a lot of fun also. It's a 2-day event, a whole weekend event, and Portland is a big fish city. They've got a lot of active hobbyists there that are going to be there and involved, and aquascapers as well. Then after that, I've got some downtime, just working in my own fish room, probably breeding and working on some new aquascapes and projects. And my first scheduled show that I know of is going to be in Sacramento in the late spring, early summer, in June. And actually, it could be late May, it could be early June. I don't have the exact date yet. But that will be Ivan Mikolji, an incredible guy. If you don't know who he is, look up IVANMIKOLJI, Ivan Mikolji. And his photography, his videography from underwater in the Orinoco Delta and Orinoco River is phenomenal. So he's a really great guy, but he started a nonprofit with me, and his sister and I also, we're all working together, and that is called the Green Earth Alliance. We got that off the ground during the lockdowns and things, and now we're kind of transitioning into what it is we're going to be doing, which is raising money for micro grants, not loans, but grants to anybody in the developing world, developing nations, or even just underserviced parts of the developed world. Inner city restoration of habitats in freshwater ecosystems would be, on brand for us. But we're going to try to put the money where it makes a difference, and people can write for essentially a gift or grant, and they will need to be accredited or have shown that they've done this restoration work before. But we're going to try to do things like get new species recognized, get preservation of different regions drafted, get different plans in place for the fair trade of the aquarium hobbies fish. So teaching locals how and when to sustainably resource things, and also researching the fish runs that are in the area, and what the optimal harvest is, when it should be harvested, what's over harvesting, what's sustainable, those sort of things. And then also, in the long run, how to equitably get money to those people who are out there doing that, where it makes a difference, where $1 is something you could live off each day, whereas to the transshipper in a big city or in America is getting most of the profit. The middlemen are getting most of the profit in these processes, and you'll sell a bag of cardinal tetras if you are a native Amerindian, South American, Brazilian, Colombian, Peruvian local. They actually will only get around $4-5 for an entire bag, a kilo without water, of neon tetras or cardinal tetras. So that's somewhere between 1,300 and 1,600 fish, and it's about $5 American, US dollars. So somewhere between that, the fish reach around that price or more each before they make it to America or Europe. And we would really love to set up a system where there's something like there is for coffee in a lot of cases, where you could say this is certified that the indigenous people of the region are doing this, or better yet, like the Amazon Research Center and Dr. Mazerall, he wants to teach folks how to actually farm. So whether that's food versions of the fish for them to sustain themselves on, or whether that is ornamental for them to make extra money on, he wants to teach both and show people how they can use like a side channel or a pond near the river and use that year round, rather than only being able to harvest for a few months out of the year and then having a transshipper or a middle person storing those fish for months and months, and so many of them dying and going to waste anyways, so many dying in transit. So this seems like a more sustainable, but also a more equitable method if we can get things like this up and going. And that is what the Green Earth Alliance is going to hopefully work towards. Things like the entire collection of Loricariidae species, so all the plecos and catfish and things in Venezuela, in their national museums that were out in the country, there were specimens of species that only exist one time. They've been, all we know about them was written about from the formaldehyde or the jar version of that species that is in these little museums that are out there in these towns. And the caps were decaying because they're made out of cork, and they're reaching 100, 150 years old in some cases. And there wasn't the money to spend, say, $1.50, just because nobody wanted to vote on a resolution to raise, say, $300 for a bunch of corks to be replaced. And those specimens were deteriorating. So that's just like one example of how a couple $100 can make a massive difference. Or going through archives, if you have someone in a developing nation, they can do that at a rate that is far less expensive than, say, somebody from Harvard or Oxford or wherever they may be from in the big city in the Western world, where they need to get paid $40 an hour or whatever it is, $100 an hour, and they're doing the work. Well, with grad students in parts of the world too that are much less expensive to live in, we can make that money go much farther. And so we want to be smart about that with the money, and that's the goal. And also keep people in contact with these projects and with these people, and allow them to have a voice, both through me and the social media platform that I have, but also Ivan and his he does talks, he does lectures and things around the world, and his photography, which he has books and other things. So he also has a reach with that. So we both want to optimize the message that we're trying to share. And then also, by the way, I have been invited to come to the Northeast Conference of Fish Clubs, which is going to be in April. And I haven't 100% committed to it yet, just money-wise, but if I fly out there, they will assist me with flying out there if I have a certain number of other folks that say they are coming and happen to mention me. And all they need to do is write my name in the little comment section when they get their tickets to the Northeast Fish Conference, which, I'll put up info when it gets closer and all that. But it's something I'm thinking about because I would love to come out there. I've never come to the Northeast, to the New England region for fish reasons, and I do like that region and would love to come out there and talk to some of you. So I'm curious if you're in the area, if you're in Connecticut, if you're in, which is where it's going to be held, and then if you're in, say, Rhode Island or Massachusetts or New York, let me know if you're watching and you'd like to say hi, if you'd want to come to Connecticut and come to a couple-day event like that with speakers and auction and vendors. And I will do a secret talk if I end up going. I just need to see, if folks are out there and if it works for me financially. And that's kind of, they're down to help, but they're kind of feeling it out in the sense that, if I can get 40 to 50 folks who say they're going, then they're happy to bring me out. Until then, it's not a done deal. I'm not a big enough drawer. I haven't proven my name or my draw, and they only have so many resources. So it's kind of an interesting situation. But regardless, I'd like to promote their event for them, and any gathering of like-minded fishy people and folks educating one another on fish keeping and fish breeding and new things in the hobby is wonderful. So I just wanted to give you guys those updates, and if you want to get a hold of me, the best place is either on here. You can comment. I look at almost all the comments still. I try to respond to most of them still, but respond there, or my email, if you know my email, alexanderjwilliamson@gmail.com. And it's posted up other places as well, so you can find it easily. But also the Facebook, there's a Facebook group for the channel if you didn't know, and that's not so much where I post things. I try to put that in the community tab, but it's more over where I want you guys to meet each other and to support each other. And it doesn't have to be always fish related. It can be just jokes or interesting things or music or stuff that's inspiring to you guys. It's more about the community of the channel and people sharing their fish rooms, sharing the fish that they have, questions about identification, and helping one another, because we have so many smart and talented and intelligent, just gifted folks in this community, between other creators and other breeders and people who don't speak up but should, and I encourage you to. So I just wanted to mention that one more time. And again, I want to thank all of you guys for watching the channel, for supporting the channel, for allowing me to get to a point where I can go and travel to places and get invited to talk. And if your local club would like to have me, just get me there. That's the biggest hurdle, because I live up in Seattle and it's kind of far from everything. Other than that, I hope you have a wonderful finish to your weekend and start to your next week. And I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much. And make sure that you're taking care of your tanks, taking care of your fish, the people around you. But most of all, make sure you're taking care of you first. Because if you aren't taking care of you, you can't take care of all the other things you care about. So I will talk to you later. Have a great day. Bye.